Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Hi, I'm Dan from Casting Views, and you're listening to Karen and Ann on the Sugar-Coated Murder Podcast.
Welcome to Sugar-Coated Murder Podcast, a brilliant true crime podcast hosted by two zany sisters, all while baking up delicious treats in their kitchen. Here are your podcast hosts, Karen Devaney and Ann Varner.
Sugar, hi Sugar. What are you doing?
You know, just hanging out.
Well, guess what I'm doing?
Baking.
I was baking and now I'm podcasting.
Yeah, you are. You're a podcaster.
We are. And we have a special guest with us tonight. We are so excited to have this sweet, sweet man on this show with us because he's so awesome. He's the awesomest. He's got the awesomeness.
He's got these luscious locks.
Yes, he's got the luscious locks flowing for us tonight too. So we don't even know how to behave ourselves.
His what do they call it when the people come in and do their makeup? Glam.
His glam squad.
He got his glam squad going before he came on tonight.
Yes, I think he's got a natural glam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not putting that on video because we will not be shown up.
We will not be shown up. We don't have a glam squad and it takes a glam army. So they can't all fit in one apartment.
Exactly. All right.
I've been baking.
How about you introduce your guest?
I'm going to get it.
We have a guest, but we're not telling you who it is.
We're not going to let him speak.
Yeah, we're just saying you have luscious locks and leaving it at that.
And that's it. That's it. This is Matt, and he is half of the podcast Decaying with the Boys. They drink a lot of beers. They drink beers of all kinds, like beers I've never heard of.
Maybe we should start drinking some beers.
I'm not a beer drinker.
Even the little Heineken ponies?
Ew, gross. No. Mm-mm.
You never drank those?
I drank too many of them. That's why I can't drink them anymore. Although, do I have to spell it out for you? High school. Anywho, Matt, Decaying with the Boys, they drink beers and they talk a lot of wrestling type stuff. It's like fighting.
Is it
like cage fighting?
Oh, well, that's different than wrestling.
Well, they wrestle each other in the cage. They get up in a cage. And
that's like Fight Club.
It is like Fight Club.
Yeah.
And the first rule of Fight Club?
Don't talk about Fight Club.
Listen to Sugar-Coated Murder.
Oh, right.
We changed it.
Well, Matt, we've talked enough. You want to tell us
while we take a breath,
your podcast and all that jazz?
Well, before I do that, I have to say thank you so much for allowing me to come on to your podcast. I listen to you guys every week. And I love it. You guys are so sweet. And I love how you guys tackle these murders. You don't glamorize the people who commit the atrocities, but you really highlight the victims and their livelihoods. So I commend you for that. And thank you for allowing me to come on here and just declass the joint. So I appreciate
somebody to help us declass a little bit. We didn't know how low we could go. And we got you on and we just went a little lower. We're so happy about that.
Well, if I could sink your listeners even lower, I am one half of a combat sports podcast. So we do cover everything from professional wrestling to the UFC and everything in between. Our catch is from Buckle to Bell to Bellator and back. The boys bring you the best wrestling news in the biz. And that's what we try to do every time. We also like to highlight local breweries, and we interview home brewers and people who are trying to make it to the next big step. We've interviewed actors and musicians and all kinds of stuff. So if you want to just come and have some barroom talk, you can come hang out with us. And we promise when we talk about combat sports, we don't gatekeep it. We're really nice about it because we like for other people to have a good time with us. And if you can like wrestling after you're done listening to us, then we did our jobs. And also, he's not here, but shout out to my buddy Adam, my co-host. I love him to death. I wish he was here. So shout out to him.
Hey, Adam.
Hi, Adam. Next time, Adam.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Get them both on, the whole thing. Well, it'll be like dueling podcasts.
And then we can talk about cage matching.
Yes.
Cage
you have to
matching.
Stop calling it
Well, I don't know what it's called.
That just takes it down a notch.
Is it cage matching?
Fighting?
It's mixed martial arts. mixed martial arts. So it will be called cage fighting. So you're not wrong.
Sometimes in the cage fight.
Oh yeah, we just don't even put me in a cage.
Yeah.
I will fight.
Mm-hmm.
I will fight whatever's in that cage.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter.
I'm uniquely terrified and also intrigued all at the same time to watch you fight in a cage.
Yeah, you should definitely be intrigued and terrified. Don't get near the cage. Keep your fingers out that cage because I'll get them.
Yeah, she'll be the
I'd
one
be scared to even judge it.
Cross-legged in the middle, rocking back and forth.
Please let me out.
This is not happening. I refuse to believe it's happening. I have so changed my mind.
That is probably a little bit more than true.
I know my sister. I know my sister.
I know. So before we started, I baked because this is also a baking contest.
Contest. I
told
you.
Why am I so competitive?
I told you.
What did I do? It's a baking podcast. I swear, every time he drinks, I get drunker. This is like empathy drinking.
I love it.
I don't know what's happening. Anywho, I baked.
It smells lovely.
Thank you. And because Matt really just is not a baker.
Right.
No.
Like we can't put him through that right now. We can't. He wasn't ready. And if he's not ready, we're not ready.
No, you can't bring not ready into the kitchen because that makes for a failure of dessert.
And you just can't force things.
You can't.
And the kitchen should bring you joy. And if it doesn't, you can't force it because then you don't got joy.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
So he's just going to hang out with us. It's not a slaying episode.
He's not slaying.
He's going to take your place on the podcast.
I'm so excited. He's actually doing the murder and not me because I got the night off. But I did make something. I baked something. It's called Healthy Yogurt Oat Blueberry Breakfast Cake.
Well, that's the problem.
I know.
You made something healthy, and now
my brain has shut down. It's like I can't even. I don't even know why you did this, lady. So actually, it's really easy. It's just got rolled oats and wheat flour, and then like your baking soda, baking powder, and salt. And you put the dry ingredients together, and then your wet ingredients are 1/3 cup of melted coconut oil.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 eggs, some vanilla, some honey, and some Greek yogurt.
Nice.
You mix all that together, and then you put the wet into the dry, and you just mix it, and then you fold in some blueberries. Some blueberries.
Mm-hmm. I love blueberries.
Because I'm British sometimes, and I think in Britain they say...
In honor of the Jubilee.
In honor of the Queen's Jubilee, which I don't think they call it a Jubilee. I'm sure they call it like a Jubilee.
Oh, yeah. Jubilee.
They don't call it Jubilee.
They don't
say that. They say it's a Jubilee.
Oh, it's a two.
I'm sure they do. Yeah. Since we've turned it into 6 syllables, they shorten it. So in honor of, how am I honoring her? What happened?
You're pronouncing blueberry, for God's sakes. I don't even know what's happening tonight.
I might be having low blood sugar. Everybody don't panic.
Is that vodka or water?
I don't know. Now that you mention it, I'm not sure what's happening. Anyway, blueberry.
Yeah, I think
it's lost blueberry. It's got blueberries in it, and you bake it in a square pan, and you take it out, and then you eat it for breakfast. You just freaking eat it. Damn it! God,
sounds delicious.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Thanks for rescuing our podcast. He's like, I'm going to get this train back on the tracks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So can I ask you?
To be wrestled in.
I feel like I've been.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you guys use the Keller vanilla in this recipe?
As a matter of fact, if you don't use the Keller vanilla, you cannot make the recipe.
You can't.
It specifically calls for Keller vanilla in the recipe. Yeah. It's crazy. And it just says, if you ain't got this in it, you're done. You're nobody. You're a nobody in the kitchen, and give up your whole life.
Yeah, it's I got a cookbook the other day, and it was from the Pioneer Woman, and in there it said 2 ounces of Keller vanilla, and I said I don't have it, and the book just caught on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
It just
gone. Yeah. You got to be careful, because if you do that again, it could just take her right out. We don't want to do that.
Don't take out Reed's rum.
We like Reed. She's on a lot of the cooking competitions
at Christmas time. She reminds me of a Christmas cookie.
She does. She looks like she's. I bet you she does smell like a Christmas cookie. So anyway,
definitely.
Whatever I just said, blah, 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 I baked.
Yes, we heard. We heard that you baked. Thank you for telling us again. Usually we break off into talk about murder. which we're going to do, but it's just not going to be one of us. It's going to be our friend Matt. He's going to tell a murder.
Even though he said he wanted to go second.
Oh,
I'll go first.
Not going first because then he's just stealing my gosh darn thunder. So you just take a step back.
Matt,
there,
we know we're on to you. We're on to you.
This is what happens
You
when we
figured
don't.
me out.
Oh my gosh, Matt, I really am scared for us. We didn't drink.
I know. We maybe
I feel
need
like
to drink.
I got
So we,
scrambled egg brains.
I mean, it's crazy. I'm going first, y'all. It's all me. There was a discussion prior to the beginning,
Yeah.
and then it was lost because of the blueberry and
And
the Jubilee. and now I've got it. We're back. We're
I
back.
wonder if there's
The Jubilee.
a blueberry jubilee.
Yeah, there should be.
We'll have to ask our friend Dan.
Yes.
Dan, the casting views man.
Yeah. It goes.
And see if he can
Once
tell
he
us.
sobers up from the Jubilee.
Oh yeah, he probably all jubileed out.
He hasn't been awake, I think, for 2 days. He just travels the world and drinks on private jets. I have a working theory that he's actually like a secret agent and he's just like posing as a podcast host. But
What I think is he's the real James Bond.
Or he could
Yep.
be part of the royal family. He strikes me more of a Paddington Bear type. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure how he's going to take to that.
Sorry, Dan.
Wow, Dan, that was completely all Ann. I'm shocked and amazed, and I'm actually moving 2 feet away from her. I'm so
for
embarrassed.
heaven's sake.
we go from sexy secret agent all the way to a stuffed bear.
He has a sandwich in his hat.
He does. And that's what makes him so lovable.
It is. He is very lovable. He's soft and squishy and lovable.
We
Much
would
like
follow-
maybe Dan. I
We
don't
would
know.
follow Dan to the end of the world if he had a sandwich in his hat.
Well, then, no shit.
Oh yeah.
We would totally follow him. I mean, I don't even need a sandwich. I mean, just give me like a piece of ham. Because if he could put a whole ham under his hat, then I would really follow him
Oh, God,
places.
yeah.
Because I don't mind a ham, like a Christmas ham or an Easter ham.
It's a Dan challenge. That's what that is.
Let's find out how many cold cuts he can actually put in his hat.
How many cold
And
cuts?
then who follows him around when he walks out on the
Right.
street. Oh, I can't wait to let Dan know that we've got
Very
a whole
exciting.
contest for
Yeah,
him.
Dan on the street.
Dan, yeah, he is Dan from the streets.
Oh my
Oh
god.
gosh, Matt, we're gonna do murder now because that's what we do
Okay.
next in the podcast. Somehow the crazy train fell right off the track
It
again.
did. It really did.
Could you please tell us a murder?
I am. I'm going to talk to you. I'm not going to tell you exactly who the victims are right off the get-go. So
Oh, is this a guessing game?
it's a twisty turny situation.
Oh, look at you, you true crime writer. You.
I am I'm a researcher and a
And a writer
podcaster.
and a producer.
So I'm going to talk to you a little about I know. God. Edit. All right, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Sam Herr, and his last name is Herr, but it is pronounced Herr.
Well, I would never pronounce my last name Herr. I would pronounce it Her.
Well, yeah, I could see that. This is in
Right.
California, so
Her.
They do things in California. I don't understand. I get it. It's probably like Herrera.
Sam Herr wasn't. I'm just going to call him Sam.
Yeah, what is Sam Herr are you talking about?
And that's Sam with 2 syllables. Sam.
Samm. Samm.
Yes.
Sam.
What you doing, Sam?
Well, the problem here is Sam was not answering his phone.
Oh no, Sam.
His daddy had been trying to call him.
Sam's daddy.
Yes, but he wasn't picking up. Sam wasn't.
And he said, "What in the Sam Herr
What
is
the
going
Sam
on?"
Hill? So sometimes Sam was not sometimes, but he was in the military, and sometimes he fought very bad bouts of PTSD. So it was not his usual behavior to not answer when his dad called or to be in touch with his
So
dad.
it's not his usual behavior to not answer. So his usual behavior is to answer.
Yes.
God, with the double negatives. Sorry, Prudence Thorpe, rest your soul or
Well,
whatever.
she wasn't my teacher.
Well, that's what the problem
So-
is. That's what the problem is.
I don't think that's what the problem is. His dad heads over to Sam's apartment and the door was locked, but there's no answer. Sam's dad had a key. He uses the key, walks into the apartment, and he's met with dead silence. Nothing looks out of place until he walks into the bedroom.
I don't like that dead silence thing. I don't like it.
There, Sam's dad finds a woman in a praying position, knees on the floor, bent at the waist, laying on the bed. Her pants are pulled down. Her shirt is ripped. She's wearing a tiara.
Wait.
And there's blood around her head.
How are you saying this girl is? How is she praying?
So it looks like she's praying. Her knees are on the floor, but her chest is on the bed.
Oh, like she's like this, saying her night prayers. I got it.
But more like,
because she's dead. Oh my God. Matt, did you know she's dead?
I mean,
I kept leaning into the screen. I was like, oh, good God, she's real deep into praying for her aunties and uncles. She's just getting real deep in prayer.
Good night prayers, good girl.
Yeah, but there was blood around her head.
Oh, no.
There's,
Yeah, those prayers didn't go
context clues.
It didn't.
More attention.
So Sam's dad immediately calls the police. They arrive at Sam's apartment and they can see that the female on the bed has a bullet wound to the side of her head. And they suspect she's been sexually assaulted.
Oh, no.
Now they have to figure out who she is, but they really also need to figure out where the heck Sam is.
Where are you, Sam? Sam, I am.
Police find a woman's purse in the kitchen, and they confirm that she is the woman that's been murdered. She's 23 years old, and her name is Julie Kilushi. But Julie goes by Julie.
Thank God. Well, way to go, Julie.
Yeah.
That would have been really hard.
Yeah. Julie's body is sent to the medical examiner, and they start their hunt for Sam.
So you've already told us a victim.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was just pointing out because you said you weren't going to tell us the victims yet. Now I'm pointing out you did say one so far.
I did, but I didn't start out by saying Julie's dead.
No, you didn't, because we thought she was praying.
Right. And you thought when I said Sam's dad opened the door in the bedroom,
I thought it was going to be Sam.
You thought Sam was dead. See, a twisty turny.
I know. I see that. Oh my gosh. I'm going to start calling you Twisty Turny.
And is your last name M. Shyamalan? Because you're tossing twists out there.
Yes, you're such a great writer.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. I'm going to write a book.
You should. You should write one with your sister.
Okay.
You should.
Investigators figure out that
and I'll buy it.
Woo! Will you buy it?
One product sold.
Yay! We got a pre-sale already.
That's amazing.
Can we put that on our tagline?
Oh, yeah. Like one book sold.
One pre-sale sold for the book we're about to write.
Yes.
And his name is
Me,
Matt.
baby. Me.
You might be the only owner of said book by the time it's done, but it's okay.
All right. So let's get back and
Collector's item.
Oh, Sam and Julie.
Julie, it turns out that Julie had been tutoring Sam. Their relationship was platonic. They weren't like boyfriend, girlfriend. They met in I think it was an anthropology class, actually.
They both got some smarticles.
They do. They're smarts.
If you're smart enough to take anthropology, that means you can spell it, and that makes you smart.
I totally agree with you. So Sam served in the Army, and he had fought in the war over in Afghanistan.
Okay.
He was outgoing, loving, stayed close contact with his family and his friends. His dad just couldn't imagine what the heck happened, and he was for sure certain that his son was not a killer.
Oh, I wouldn't think so.
As police tried to track down Sam's dad was looking for him as well. Cell phone records showed that Sam sent Julie a text on the day before they found her murdered. So they found her on May 22nd. Mm-hmm. This was on the 21st, but a text, and this is 2010, the year 2010.
Thank you for letting us know.
You're welcome.
I didn't know.
I know. And that text asked her to stop by Sam's apartment because he was having some troubles at home with his family and he needed to talk, really talk. Julie had been over at her brother's house with his fiance. They actually had just given her the tiara that was on her head to ask her to be in their wedding. So
what? That's awful. And somebody killed her with that tiara on her head.
Yeah.
That is ruder than rude.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, that's not what you do to a tiara wearing girl.
No.
Or guy.
No, you walk in and you think you're going to have conversation and help people out. And what you end up is not
is dead.
Is
You end up dead.
Yes.
There was no kissing of the ring or anything.
No.
There was no
There
curtsying in front of royalty.
No,
They just killed her.
they did.
That's not nice.
It's not.
I don't like it.
Anyway, the 21st, blah, 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 the text. Right. Now we're back on track.
Are we?
Yes. There was no communication on either Julie or Sam's phone. I guess that's neither nor. It just didn't. There wasn't any communication on those freaking phones after that one communication about, will you come over? And she said, yes, I'll come over after I'm done.
Okay.
Sam's dad decides he's going to look into the bank accounts to see if there's been any activity since the day before.
Mhm.
Turns out there have been several transactions that hit that account since the 21st. So
Okay.
one transaction was for a pizza place.
Okay. Sam got hungry.
Mhm.
We all do it.
Mhm.
It's okay.
Mhm. And by the way, at the back of the apartment, Sam's passport and his car are both missing. They are not there.
Oh,
So there's a all points bulletin out.
yeah, he might have flown the coop by now
And they are telling people that he is armed and dangerous.
and has pizza. So there's a conflict
well, now
right
he's
there.
getting some pizza. So
Yeah, because I'm like, I know you're armed and dangerous, but that hot pizza smells good.
sometimes you just need pizza.
And
no matter what you've done.
And
you
I
just need
feel
a
like if
slice of
somebody
pizza.
is offering you a warm slice of pizza, they're not armed and dangerous right at that moment.
Yeah, because
I feel
they-
like
yeah.
I
It's hard to
got-
get a pizza.
I want pizza right now. I want pizza right now and not murder.
Right.
Yeah,
So
So-
I
yeah.
agree. Hot
Yeah.
pizza, no murder.
Violence. That should be our whole country should adopt this. Choose pizza and not violence.
Oh wow, that would
Yeah, that's powerful.
That's a shirt.
That's
That's
powerful
deep.
right there. That's me going into politics.
That's murder.
Okay, one thing at a time.
Police call the pizza restaurant and they get the delivery address for where that pizza's going because they're on top of it. They also get some film surveillance from the cameras at the bank ATM where the money had been withdrawn.
Uh-huh.
They assemble a SWAT team. That's serious business.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh, yeah. We got a SWAT.
When
We
you got
got a
SWATs
SWAT.
going on, stuff is going down.
Yeah, and they go right to that house where they believe Sam is hiding out.
Mm-hmm.
And they get inside, they bust up all in there.
Uh-huh.
And basically it's a bunch of 16 and 17-year-olds having like a after school study session.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. And the police are like, everybody down.
And they're like,
Pizza! We're just studying.
if SWAT ever comes in, that's what I'm saying.
Ah!
No, I'm saying pizza. Give me extra pepperoni.
So they say, hey, who ordered pizza on this guy
Exactly.
Sam's
Who ordered
card?
pizza.
And
This is about pizza.
It's about pizza.
Yes.
And a kid named Wesley, 17-year-old kid, he came forward. He was like, yeah, I did. I used that card to buy the pizza.
What the? You dummy.
Right. And they were like, where'd you get this card? Like, do you know this guy? And Wesley's like, no, dude, I don't know him. And the SWAT team is like, I don't believe you. And they just go all over and look everywhere they can think of in that house because they think Sam is hiding out. But Sam was not hiding out. He was not in that house.
Well, how'd that kid get that
I'm
card?
going to tell you.
That's
He told the
ridiculous.
police that a friend of his had given him the bank card and told him that the guy who had that card owed him a lot of money.
And so just go take this card and buy some pizza?
Right. And he gave the card to Wesley and asked him to go to the bank. It's brilliant. And withdraw the money as much as he could every day until
Incognito.
and that he should definitely wear like a hoodie and a hat when he went.
And Wesley did that?
He was 17-year-old boy.
Listen, I'm going to tell you
He
something,
got free
Wesley.
pizza.
Okay, never mind. I get it. I get it. I mean, you do a lot for pizza.
Yeah.
So
Free pizza talks a lot. Free pizza makes you do crazy things. I would do
agree.
probably weird stuff if I get free pizza. Just throwing it out
in
there.
High school, a 17-year-old boy in high school with his hormones raging, he's got to have that pizza.
He needs pizza.
He's got pizza drive.
And I mean, of course, I'll go to the bank and withdraw all the money I can with a hoodie and a hat on. I don't mind.
No, good.
I'm good.
Thank you for telling me about the hoodie and the hat. I might have forgot it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll wear these sunglasses too.
So he says he doesn't know Sam. He's never met Sam. He only knows his friend Daniel.
Daniel.
And Daniel is the one that asked him to go get the money. His name is Daniel Wozniak. That's very complicated name.
Wozniak or Wozniak? Because Wozniak, didn't he do something? He did something.
Well, this Daniel
is a computer guy. He's a famous computer guy, Steve Wozniak.
I know you're talking about.
Okay.
But no, that's not him.
Oh.
No relation.
It's of no relation?
They're of no relation.
And can I just point out, this Daniel is not Dan, the casting views man.
No, not unless his last name is Wozniak.
And I don't think the Brits could pronounce that.
Wozniak, whatever the hell you want to call him.
They can't do that. Z's and N's.
I'm going to call him Daniel.
Okay.
This guy.
Daniel.
Dropping the last name.
Yeah, we don't like it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, he said he knew Daniel from a local theater group.
Oh, theater.
Thespian.
I'm a thespian.
His mom belonged to this group and she was friends with Daniel. Oh. So they were hanging out. They were friends. So he gives the bank card back to the police and the police start looking for this Daniel dude.
Yeah, we got to find Daniel now.
In the meantime,
by the
medical examiner calls with some information for the police.
Oh, from Julie's body.
Okay. It turns out that Julie had actually been shot in the head twice.
What?
Once easily.
Wow, that's a great word.
Easily visible.
Oh, I get that now. I get the easily visible. Easable
at her temple. And the other one, though, had been covered by her hair and blood. And that one was right in the back of her head.
Well, she didn't do this to herself.
Right. Here's something else. She had not been sexually assaulted.
Oh, praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus for
I'm
real.
So happy.
But weird, right?
It is a little weird because I think she was
down. That's not nice.
Well, that's just rude. That is so third grade.
Right. So
now pants down.
It's not nice.
No, we don't do that.
The police are now looking for Sam and Daniel.
Sam and Dan.
Sam and Dan.
Oh my gosh. It's like a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah. It turns out that Dan is actually Sam's neighbor. Dan and Sam are neighbors.
Oh, this is confusing now.
No, it's not. It all makes sense.
It does?
It's all lining up. Dan is friends with Julie. No, Sam and Julie are friends.
Okay. Yep, I got that.
Right. And Dan is friends with Sam. And now Dan has Sam's card.
And Dan is friends with Wesley's mom.
Right.
And
so
then Wesley is dumb.
And we just need to know what's going on with these guys, Sam and Dan.
Yeah, what's this web? What's this web we're walking into?
Exactly.
Okay, give it to me.
Dan is engaged to a girl named Rachel. It could be, it looks like Rachel to me, but I've also met somebody with the way she spells Rachel who call themselves Rochelle.
Like Rochelle? It was a movie. They went to see else.
I thought you were talking about Rosanna Dana.
If I had meant her, I would have actually said Rosanna Dana. Rochelle. Dana.
I don't know what's happening. Dan, he's engaged to Rochelle.
Or Rachel.
Dan and Rob.
Let's call her Ra. That's good.
They're both in that community theater group.
Oh, thespians. Okay.
Police figure out that Dan is at a local restaurant having a bachelor party because he's getting ready to get married.
Woo. No,
so they gather the troops and they head on over to that restaurant where Dan is doing his bachelor party and there's drinking and woo.
There's like merriment
and all that stuff. And they went over to Dan and said, dude, no, you got to come with us.
They pulled him out his bachelor party?
Yes, they did.
That is fodder for the gossip tomorrow.
That is exactly right.
There'll be all of Twitter at the wedding tomorrow.
They arrest him and take him out in cuffs from his bachelor party.
Have mercy. Well, Dan, you're in a lot of trouble.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like serious stuff.
Yeah. There's a dead girl with a tiara in your friend's apartment and you have his card. What's going on, Dan?
And nobody seems to know where Sam is.
And where is Sam?
Sam, I am.
Yeah. So he starts off with the story that Sam owed him this money.
Okay.
But police tell him they aren't questioning him about the money. They're questioning him about Julie's murder.
Oh.
Right.
That's
so
nice.
Police had questioned Dan and Rachel the day Julie was found, but they both said that they didn't know where Sam was. They had seen Sam leave the complex earlier in the day with a dude in a hoodie and a dark hat.
Oh my God, he was with Leslie.
That's what
They went to get pizza.
Dan and Rob said.
So we don't think we believe them.
I'm thinking most likely no.
Well, with a name like Rachel, we can't even trust what her name is right now.
I don't know what her name, but she's not significant to me. So, I mean, she is, but she's not.
Oh, that might be mean.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying.
Oh, maybe she deserves it. I'm good then. I'm good.
Okay. It's interesting because when they saw Wesley withdrawing the money, right? He's dressed in the black hoodie. You see the relation there. Okay. Once he's at the police station, Dan says, listen, I'll tell you anything you need to know.
Oh, nice.
But you need to get me to my wedding in 2 days. I'll tell you whatever you want.
Listen, Dan, you're not making the rules here, dude. That's not what you're doing.
And he says, I am not covering for Sam. I'm just not. He tells the police that Sam knew that Dan and Rachel were in a financial crisis. They were 2 months behind on their rent, and they owed some people some money from a loan.
And who's telling them this?
Sam knew that Dan and Michelle were in a bond.
Okay.
They were in a bond.
They were in a bond and they were way behind.
Yes, that's right. Sam came out with this idea. Because he had, Trout is awake now. How about that? Wow. Wow. What a night.
Wow.
What a night.
Going swimming.
Yes. Okay. Sam came up with this really great idea. You see, Sam had gotten some combat pay when he was fighting for our country over in Afghanistan.
I would hope so.
And he put it in the bank, and he had about a little over $60,000 in the bank. So he said, what I'll do is I'll give you my card. You find somebody who'll withdraw the money from my account, and I'll report the money as stolen.
No, he didn't. No, Dan is a liar. Dan is a damn lie.
Brilliant. That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And then Sam would get the money. Sam would get the money back, right?
Yeah, so because nobody's going to investigate any of that. They're just going to take everybody's word for it.
That's right. And then police started kind of asking some other questions.
Good for the police.
And he tells them that on the 21st, Sam came to his apartment and told him that he had done something bad and that he needed for Dan to come help him at the apartment.
I have a feeling.
Dan said, of course, I'll come help you.
I'll come help you.
He said that Sam threatened him and threatened Rochelle. Rochelle. Yeah. If Dan didn't help out
with what he needed.
Exactly.
All right. Dan's going to do a job.
And then he said, after he helped Sam clean up what was messy in the apartment, that he had Dan drop him off at a shopping center.
Oh.
And that's the last time Dan saw him. Was at that shopping center.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Police are like, okay, let's go ahead and get a DNA sample from you, Dan.
We
just in case.
100%, Daniel.
We believe you.
But just for shits and giggles, let's just get that DNA.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, we believe you and now we need to clear you.
Yeah.
And because Dan he may be a great thespian. He is not
thespian.
He is not a great cover-upper of things.
Oh, because he goes by the script.
Right. He's going by some script that he's written in his head.
Yeah, he can't go off script.
Yeah.
No.
He says, no, just
that would be called an ad lib. And that's more improv.
That's improv, not thespianism.
Thespian.
That's right. So Dan says, while they're doing, they do the DNA swab, and he's like, now, you remember the part of the story where I told you I had been in Sam's apartment?
Oh, right.
Like I was in there. So you might find my DNA in his apartment.
DNA could be sprinkled throughout. We don't know.
Possibly.
Exactly.
Only if you find it, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he said, I did go to the bathroom while I was there.
Oh, well, thanks for letting us know. Did you wash your hands dirty?
I don't think so.
Nah.
I don't think it. I think this is a dirty Dan.
It might be a dirty Dan.
Mm-hmm.
The police keep questioning Dan, and he sticks to his story. He's thinking that if he told the police what he knew, he'd be heading on home. But unfortunately, Dan had given them just enough information about that. I helped clean up the body thing for them to charge him with accessory to murder.
Whoops, you're not going home.
That's right.
Oopsie.
That's exactly
Sorry
right.
about your wedding.
Yeah.
I don't think Rachel or Rochelle, whatever her name is, would want to
Rachel.
Rachel.
Right.
I don't think
Rachel
would want to marry Dan.
You know, people can be very forgiving. You don't know.
Oh,
you just don't know. But Dan says he didn't do it. He didn't do it.
Okay, Dan.
They really thought that he knew where Sam was and that he was lying about dropping him off. So they start putting a lot of pressure on him. And then they say, listen, we're going to call in Rachel. And we're going to have her come in and, talk about things. Because as Dan continues to talk, he's like, oh, one more thing. I want you to know I didn't touch her body, but I was close enough to her body that I could see the 2 gunshot wounds. I just want you to know I could see.
He is just one more thing in him right into jail, isn't he?
Well,
listen, I lightly sneezed on the body. I might have some DNA. I sneezed. I didn't touch
the body, and when I did, the hair blew back, and I saw 2 gunshot wounds.
Right, because
y'all missed it. Even though y'all missed it when you first got there, I saw it because I had a big sneeze.
Yeah, this thespian he's no joke.
Thespian.
Yeah. Now we got Daniel, which, by the way, this whole entire case that I wrote, I spelled his name Danielle instead of Daniel. So
that's fine. We'll call him Danielle.
Danielle. Now we've got Daniel at the scene of the crime, and he knows that there were 2 bullet holes. So that was a very important detail that police had not released to the public.
Okay.
Still, they need information about where Sam is.
Yeah, where is Sam? He's out shopping. He's shopping.
AKA Buffalo Bill, by the way. Sam went full Buffalo Bill. He was like, Dad, come help me with some things. Help me put these chairs into my car.
Yeah, definitely.
He's walking around with somebody else's skin.
He might be.
It puts the lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again.
You're scaring me.
Oh, I'm scared.
I'm scared of that movie. I don't like it at all. That's not my genre.
All right, so now they decide we're going to bring Rachel in, and we're going to see
Rachel.
if she can
bring in the Rachel.
If she can get more information out of Dan to figure out where Sam is.
So they think she's going to pull the truth out of him.
Right.
Well, this is her moment.
Well, Rachel is also a thespian. So
thespian.
She too.
I just wish people could see my I don't know, my acting out of this. I do a great thespian.
With your hand in the air?
Yes, like this. You're missing this part, though. It's like, oh.
I thought you had a bellyache. I wasn't exactly sure. Well, what was happening?
A thespian. Like I'm at the center stage in the front, like about to take my bow. So yeah, I'm really good at that.
All right, Rachel comes in.
Rachel is also a thespian.
What's going on? What's happening? And where did you say you saw Sam? And what did you and Sam talk about? And all of these pointed questions about, but she shows zero emotion. There's no emotion. She's not saying, dear God in heaven, I'm supposed to marry you in 2 days, and they're telling me that you've killed somebody.
Yeah, she's not saying that.
That is not what she is saying.
Did she say, can we go over that guest list, those seating arrangements one more time?
No.
Because that's what I'd have been like, while you're here and I got your attention, we need to get some details done for this wedding.
No.
Focus. Boom.
Priorities.
No.
So she's asking him all these questions, but she ain't the Rachel got no emotions.
She's got no emotions. Dan's got more emotions than she does.
Well, maybe she's just stone cold Steve Austin.
That's right.
316, baby.
He a wrestler, right? Is he a wrestler?
Yes.
Yes,
he is.
Mm-hmm.
He
See,
is a
I know
wrestler.
my wrestling.
Stone Cold Steve Austin says I just kicked your ass. That's what I usually went with.
I think we just had Stone Cold Steve Austin on our podcast.
Oh my God.
Oh,
With
love
definitely
that.
putting that on social media.
Yes.
Tag him in it. Let's see what happens.
Okay. Totally. You know I'll tag somebody. I'm not scared of tagging.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a tagger.
I know you are. All right. So Daniel tells Rachel.
Okay.
He finally says, listen, Sam killed Julie.
Listen,
And
Rachel.
he helped clean up the scene. And then I had to help him clean up the rest of the scene. And then I took Sam to a shopping center and dropped him off. And Rachel's like, I mean, that's what he's saying, guys.
Oh, so she's fine with this far-fetched
And
story.
police are like, I mean, what have we gotten ourselves into? They're in the middle of a play. They are literally in the middle of a play.
Yes. It's Julius Caesar. And any minute now, Julius is going to say, et tu, Brute? Like that. Et tu, Brute?
Yeah, we're going to have to put some video out
Yeah.
for this episode. For sure. It's very animated.
Yes. This is taking forever.
Is it?
What is going on?
Because you keep interrupting me with these little bits and pieces of et tu, Brute.
Oh my God, that is so significant.
How?
It just is. It ties in.
And then I have to go and find my place.
That's the problem.
My golly.
Aunt Ethel can't get her glasses straight.
Right. So my Lord. I don't know what to do with her.
I'm glad I came on the murder podcast with Cake. This is great.
Yeah. Oh gosh, we haven't even gotten through the first freaking murder, and
I know,
I've got a lot of
I'm telling you.
pages left to
Holy
go.
crap. Give us the Evelyn Wood.
No, I will not. I will not. I spent a lot of time on this.
Okay, let's go. Ready? Everybody, focus.
Rachel leaves. She leaves. They keep Dan. They keep Dan, and they give him some breaks here and there. You know, they put him in like a. I guess there's like a cell, like a holding cell type of situation, but it also had a phone in it. I mean, how fun is that?
Well, that's luxurious.
Yeah. So Dan calls Rachel.
Oh, he called Rachel. Well, he should call Sam.
She's like, babe, what can I do to help? What can I do?
What can I do to help?
And he's like, I don't know. And Rachel's like, I'm going to tell your parents and your brother what's going on. And then she does.
Oh.
And then she talks to Daniel again, and he's like, what's up? And she's like, dude, I can't talk. I got to call the police.
Why?
And he's like, why? And she's like, because, dude, your brother has this backpack, and now I know about it. And if they hear me talking about it with you, I'm going to go to jail.
Wait, a backpack?
A backpack. There's a backpack situation.
Everything's recorded. Why do you think you can talk on the phone in the jail? It's all recorded.
It's all recorded. They're watching every move you make.
Well,
every breath
Rachel
you
knew
take.
that. Rachel knew that.
I have this
Okay.
piece of evidence.
So Dan did not get
so
the
much.
script from Act 2.
Dan's
And
like,
now he's ad-libbing
I'm
and it's
going to
going
do something,
poorly.
babe, and then I'll never see you again. And she's
good
like,
God.
no, Dan, no.
Oh, Lord.
Ugh,
It's
the
like
whole
the
thing.
Franklin Little Theater all over again.
Indeed, yes. You idiot, Dan.
Oh, Dan.
Oh,
Dan, you're an idiot.
she's like, I gotta go talk to the police now. And he's like, I gotta hang up with you because I need to go talk to the police
Oh,
now.
gosh. Well, how convenient because you're in jail.
Oh my golly.
So who can get to the police first?
Yeah. He says, I need to tell them what I'm going to do now. And this is what he says to her.
Okay.
Do I need to do this like go to jail, or do I need to do this like I'm crazy?
Like which one should I play?
Right. And she's like, oh, crazy.
Which
crazy.
script am I reading from?
Right. The crazy one. Like he's got a choice. Like he's going to go back and say, I did it. I killed her, but I'm a crazy man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, all of
Dan.
a sudden I got the crazies.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. We're going to give you a pill and then you go home.
And a pass.
And you're good.
Free pass.
Yeah. The detectives sit down with Dan and he says, I've got something to tell you. He says, I killed Sam and I killed Julie.
Wait.
I know.
He said I killed Sam.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I
I thought
know.
Sam was shopping.
No, he's not. He's
Damn
not
it. You're right,
shopping.
JC
Sam
Penney.
is he's
Oh.
dead.
Oh,
Yes. He said,
Oh, Sam.
Sam. Damn,
I
Sam.
know. Dan says we needed the money for the wedding and the honeymoon.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
No.
And so this is what happened. Dan said, I asked Sam to come help me move some stuff at the community theater.
At the theater.
And being the great guy Sam was, he said, you betcha. I'll be right there, Dan. Dan had him go up a ladder into like a little storage area.
Be so helpful. This is what the
I
moral of the story is.
I know.
Starting out with pizza, and now it's like, don't help your neighbor.
No. And so when Sam turned his back, Dan shot him in the back of the head.
In the theater.
But Dan didn't.
In the theater.
But Sam didn't die immediately.
Oh.
He said he didn't know what happened.
Well, what happened?
So he said to Dan, you got to help me. Something hit me. I might have been electrocuted. Hey, can you help me?
No, he didn't even realize he was shot.
No. So Dan shot him again.
Oh my God, Dan.
Right in the back of the head.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Dan is a very mean boy.
Dan is,
he's very mean.
He's something.
And now you say he killed Julie.
Yeah.
Dang.
So Sam's dead now. Now they need to go and get Sam's body and give his parents the news. And
oh man.
Anyway, that's not exactly what happened. Because after Dan murdered Sam, he had an obligation that he was going to be in a theater production that night. He was in a musical.
The show must go on.
Night.
The show must go on.
And he did his whole performance.
Performed?
He did. He and Rachel.
They both did.
They were in that musical together.
And was Sam dead up in the theater the whole time?
That is correct. That is correct.
Oh my God, that's so mean.
So if y'all were at the theater in Costa Mesa, what is it called? In California.
Costa Mesa.
Oh God, how many pages back?
It's like so many pages.
This is a big one. Yes. Costa Mesa, California.
Costa Mesa.
In the May 2010.
If you went to the theater.
If you went to that theater and
you
saw
had a play under a dead man.
Yes, there was a guy upstairs and he was dead.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah. It gets worse.
Well, let's go. Let me hear it.
The Cultworthy Podcast. Your host, Antonio Palacios, will guide you week by week through a bevy of cult favorites, obscure cinema, and hidden gems. Listen to us on your favorite platforms or follow us on thecultworthy.com. The Cultworthy Podcast.
I got to hear about this backpack.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, it's the backpack. Oh, yeah. Wait till you hear.
Okay.
So the next day, Dan goes back to the theater to Sam's body, and he decides the best way to cover up this whole situation is to cut the body up and get rid of it.
No.
Oh, yeah. He did. He cut that body up. Yep.
Ew.
Even his head, all of it.
Oh,
he took it and he slung it around a state park. He just started throwing pieces here and there.
Were they in any kind of baggage or?
I think some were in bags and some not in bags.
He just threw body parts out there?
Yeah, out in a state park.
Yep. That is not what the state park is funded for.
No.
That could ruin a whole entire picnic.
Yeah. But before he did that, he did take Sam's wallet and his passport.
Well, how nice of him.
So he says, in order to cover up what I've done here, I need to kill Julie.
Oh my God.
So that they think Sam killed Julie and he's on the run.
This is definitely a Shakespearean play.
Right.
This is definitely that's
right,
what that is.
Right. Detectives start looking through at the state park. They actually, on Sam's 27th birthday, they found a hand, but it was too badly decomposed to identify.
Well, whose else could it be?
Then they found a torso, also very badly decomposed, except it had a tattoo on it.
That's why tattoos are good.
That's right.
Everybody should have a tattoo.
It was a big red heart, and on the banner beneath it, it said Mom and Dad.
Oh my gosh. That stinks.
Isn't that awful? They did find his head because that was a very big thing for his dad that
He wanted to find his face.
I think he wanted as many pieces as he could get. But
This is just so horrible.
awful. I know, Dan
Wozniak, you suck.
Oh, and he gets even worse.
Shut up.
Because he does this whole confession thing.
Yeah.
Then he goes and he pleads not guilty
What?
to 2 counts of murder. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so he killed Julie. He got Julie to come over
Yes.
to Sam's apartment and killed her
Yes.
and then staged it and pulled her pants down.
Yes.
Dan, I hope somebody's pulling his pants down right now.
Definitely.
Just saying.
I got to get through to the end of it because it just gets worse.
Oh, I don't like it.
It gets worse.
And I got to find out what the Rachel had to do with this because I'm going to be real pissed.
I know. So he pleads not guilty. Because of that, there has to be a whole long trial that the family has to go through.
That's horrible.
Yeah. But it took the jury less than an hour to find him guilty.
And they probably ordered lunch too.
And then they sentenced him to death.
Oh, to death.
To death.
Well,
but this is California. And this was 2010. So who knows?
He's not on death row anymore.
He's on, well, they still stay on death row, even though there's no death.
Okay,
They sent him to San Quentin.
After this is over.
They sent him to San Quentin State.
San Quentin.
To wait for his death. The backpack that the brother had.
Yeah.
It had 2 shell casings, the ones from Julie's murder, Sam's passport, and his wallet.
And did Dan's
things.
brother know what was in the backpack?
He did know what was in the backpack.
Did he know why it was in the backpack?
I don't really know that. I know, though, that they did charge him with a crime.
Okay, well, that's what he gets. He's bad.
I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about Rachel. Right. But she had some major explaining to do, the detectives.
You got some explaining to do.
They knew that she had helped Dan in some way. So they charged her with accessory after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
She didn't tell police all the information that she had. And the jury felt the same way and convicted her, sending her to prison for 30 months. And she got out in 2019.
Wait, 30 months?
Correct.
But yay, I don't care. I'm glad that she had to go to jail.
Yeah. So, but she got out. Okay. So here's an update on Daniel's prison journey. Okay. He was sentenced to death in 2016. 6 years. Just think about that. He murdered them in 2010. Yeah. It took 6 years to get him to court and through the whole trial.
That's a whole lot of money.
Right. In July of 2021, Daniel was moved out of San Quentin as part of the Condemned Inmate Transfer Pilot Program.
Excuse me?
Condemned Inmate Transfer Pilot Program that they come up with there in California. San Quentin is considered a maximum security prison, and it's like a level, I don't know, whatever the highest level thing.
Maximum?
Maximum. But
level 5.
There's 5 levels.
Somebody might know about this right there.
Right.
Or they might not. I don't know.
Right. So he was in a maximum security. And, when you're there and you're on death row, you're isolated, right?
Okay, I guess that's what I've heard.
Yeah, you're isolated.
I can't speak to it.
Mm-hmm. They moved him as part of this program because he had found the Lord and he ministered to inmates and he was very, very helpful with other inmates. So they put him into this great program and they moved him to a level 3.
Wow, that's 2 jumps down.
Security. Yeah, they say it's still maximum security, but he's free to move about amongst the people.
The people, as in the prison population.
Correct.
Okay.
So he's not in that isolated. You don't get to play with others because you're a bad guy.
And you only get to go outside an hour a day. He got more.
For some reason, he was given some freedoms. That's right. That's right. The Condemned Inmate Program was set up by the prison system, and it gives prisoners who don't have pending charges, who have been found guilty of certain disciplinary offenses, I guess murder, within the last 5 years or are in restrictive housing due to disciplinary reasons.
Okay.
The prisoners get a chance to participate in a rehabilitation program and work program as a way to pay their restitution to the victims and the victims' families.
Okay, well, as long as there's a reason for this and there's a benefit to the victim's family.
These inmates are basically going from a cafeteria to a 5-star restaurant.
Well, how come?
They are moving out of lockdown, isolation, terrible way to live into now you can go eat with all the other inmates. You can go play. You can get your college
frolic.
degree. You can do play
Do
basketball.
you think they're frolicking in there?
They are frolicking at
I
this
just don't know
place.
if you murder somebody, if you should ever be able to frolic.
I'm telling you, California needs to get their sorry mama shit together.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
This program was started in California in 2016. In 2019, the governor of California put a moratorium on executions.
Yes.
Right. So it's not gone altogether.
No.
Which means that the death row inmates have to still be on death row.
Okay.
But then they came up with this fancy program that says, even though you kills people,
you kills people.
we're going to put you over here in the country club now.
In the frolicking area.
You go frolic.
You get to frolic.
Right.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. So
sorry, Mama, but there should be no freaking
that moratorium can be lifted at some point. But until then, he's going to be they're frolicking. And that's the story of
I don't like
Dirty
any of
Dan and Raquel,
the Ratchet Rachel.
And, poor Sam fought for our freaking country.
Yeah, and then got pay, and somebody thought, oh, I'll just take that because I'm having a wedding.
And Dan couldn't even hold down a job. That's why they were so far in debt. He was lazy.
Well, he wasn't lazy when it came to play.
No, he was a thespian.
I think he thought he was going to get famous.
I don't know what he thought.
And take it from me, that ain't happening because if we're not famous, you're not famous.
Oh God, no. No, I think he thought he was a better thespian than he really was.
Well,
that's what I think.
I think so too.
That he thought
that's what I was going to say. He thought he could act his way out of it. Yeah.
I feel like he wrote the script like a Shakespearean tragedy, like where one person has to die and then the other person has to die because that person had to die.
Yeah.
And and then poor Dan.
Right.
Frolicking.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
son of a biscuit.
There you go. It was bad. That was hard. It was a really long one. It was very twisty turny.
It was.
And then
you did a lot of that. Zigged and you zagged.
Yeah.
You loop-de-loop. You dosey-doed.
I dosey-doed.
Yeah, you really did. You are.
It's fantastic.
God bless Sam and Julie. I'm so sorry.
R.I.P. Sam and Julie.
I will tell you that an interview I watched with Sam's parents.
Oh, that would have been heartbreaking for me.
They still go to his grave and they just take their lawn chairs with them and they sit in the evening and they drink a beer and they read the paper. And his dad said, sometimes I take a nap and I'm never more at peace than I am when I'm right there with him.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's a heartbreaker.
It is a heartbreaker.
Yeah. Well, R.I.P. Julie and Sam.
Yes.
Dang it.
All right. Now what?
Do you love comics, movies, video games, and more? We do too. Join me, Josh Scar, and my cast of colorful co-hosts on Talking SMAC. Look for our yellow and red icon on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, and other podcast players.
Well, now you've got to do something about your crazy ass dog.
I'm gonna pick him up.
But don't let him rub against your microphone.
Don't rub my microphone.
That's private.
You're good. This podcast is taking a turn.
This podcast is rated R.
All right.
So maybe
sorry, Mama.
Sorry, Mama. All right. So we've done our thing. What you got, Matt?
A dose of murder. You got a dose of murder to give us,
buddy.
Oh, I think he's going to top it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he is.
So I'm not as skilled as Ann at spinning a yarn of murder, but I have a grisly tale to tell you over a 3-day period in 2007. Now, I know some of your listeners may not be up to date with pro wrestling, but this murder in particular is well known in the wrestling community, where a wife and a young child lost their lives to a formerly highly rated and highly decorated wrestler that spanned a career over multiple organizations and promotions.
But he was like famous and well known and stuff.
Even still today, speaking his name is like saying Voldemort. You're not supposed to say it.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. So, but you're going to say it.
I am. But before I say it, if you guys want to know more about this, you need to go online and search more about. I'm giving you the bare bones here. This is a very complex case with a lot of background, and I'm trying to give you the hits, the highlights here.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
Well, we'll definitely cite your sources in our show notes so people can go to the show notes and just click on any of the links and then read more about it.
awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let me take you guys back to June 22nd of 2007. The Fayetteville, Georgia District Attorney and forensics teams arrive at the Benoit house, where they have been actually on June 25th, where they were called out after WWE officials asked local authorities to do a welfare check after Chris Benoit failed to appear for tapings and for a major pay-per-view lead-up event.
Oh, wow. No. That was probably not in his personality.
No, it was not. Chris Benoit was known as a decorated performer. He wrestled for multiple organizations like ECW, WCW, WWE, and formerly known as WWF. He held titles in all these promotions, and he was known as one of the most technically sound wrestlers to come out of Canada next to the famous Bret the Hitman Hart.
Canada. Sorry, we have to. It's a reflex now.
I love it. It's so good. But before I get into the actual murder itself, I need to go back and tell everybody who Nancy Benoit and Daniel Benoit were. So Nancy Elizabeth Benoit, she was actually a wrestler as well. And back in ECW and WCW, she wrestled as Woman. Now, she just Woman, and she was fierce. She was hardcore. She bit her opponents on the forehead. She tackled people to the ground. No holds barred.
Oh my gosh.
Wonderful.
She drew blood.
Yeah, sometimes the hard way too. And then when we say the hard way, that means she actually bit somebody to draw blood.
Oh gosh.
So now, Woman, Nancy Elizabeth Benoit, she was known to run with some incredible performers like the infamous Rick Steiner, the dirtiest player in the game, Ric Flair.
I know Ric Flair. I know him.
Yeah. And she was married to the chess master Kevin Sullivan.
Oh, okay.
An on-air feud actually occurred between Kevin Sullivan and Chris Benoit, and that took place in WCW, with Benoit actually defeating Sullivan in a retirement match. And that pushed Sullivan to just be what's called a booker. He'd work behind the scenes and fix the matches up so they'd be presented for TV and airtime.
Wait, he stopped wrestling?
Yeah, so he lost the retirement fight, and what he did was he took a production position. So instead of being an in-ring talent, he would actually formulate the matches and produce them for the wrestlers that were inside the ring.
Wow.
During this whole feud, when it came to its climax culmination, Benoit ominously made the statement, "You consider yourself the master of human chess. Well, my bishop just took your queen."
Oh, that's some chess talk right there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's rude and crude in the ring.
Gauntlet.
So Nancy and Chris then went on to marry in 1997.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they had a turbulent marriage at best. It was just marred with domestic violence, police calls, and just it was an all-out brawl at all times.
That's unfortunate.
They're wrestlers.
Well, I know, but you save it for the ring.
Oh,
come on.
It led to a point where in May of 2003, Nancy actually filed for divorce, citing irrevocably broken conditions and cruel treatment from Chris.
Oh, God.
Most notably striking her whenever she wouldn't agree to simple statements, and also dragging her through the entire house by her hair.
Oh, ow, that's just so mean, because girls' hair, we got sensitive scalps.
Absolutely. And here's the thing too, and this is the part that hurts my heart the most. Nancy dropped that suit and her PFA against Chris Benoit in August of 2003. So,
oh no.
Yeah. And if the story serves it any kind of way, and with my, understanding, I only would like to think that Chris was able to pressure Nancy into getting rid of the PFA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of promises.
So we move on to David Benoit, which is Chris's third child and second son, but Nancy's only child.
Okay.
Chris's first marriage actually had children produced from it as well. So David's half siblings were in Canada at the time of the murder suicide, with their mother and Benoit's first wife, Martina. Now, not much was said about David other than he was a loving child, full of life, and all the wrestlers that knew Chris knew David, and they all loved David with all their heart.
Okay.
But
and how old was David at this time?
David was 7.
Oh my gosh, he's a baby.
Here's where some of the controversy comes into play. Because after Daniel's death, he was allegedly diagnosed with Fragile X syndrome, which is also called FXS. FXS is a genetic disorder characterized by mild to moderate intellectual disabilities. IQ is low, and there's also some telltale signs like larger ears, elongated nose, gangliness, almost on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
This was actually alleged to have caused conflict between the marriage of Chris and Nancy, with Chris trying to allegedly reverse FXS by injecting David with HGH.
What?
No.
Like on his own? Not a doctor's order, but this is just something we've come up with.
Right. But thank goodness in 2016, these rumors were completely debunked by Nancy's sister, Sandra Toffalani, during an interview on the Talk is Jericho podcast. Talk is Jericho is ran by Chris Jericho, one of the best professional wrestlers to ever grace a squared circle, and the lead singer of Fozzy.
Oh, nice.
We go into the deaths of Nancy and David. This is not for the faint of heart, so trigger warnings be had before I even get into this.
Okay.
First, we'll start with reports from responding law enforcement, where they indicated that Nancy perished first. She was killed in an upstairs bedroom with her limbs bound, with her body being wrapped in a towel. Also, a copy of the Bible was placed by her body. Which we don't know if Benoit had a lot of religious undertones, but some inside sources say that maybe he was trying to make peace with his maker while he was doing something that was so perceivedly evil.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So the injuries sustained indicate that Benoit pressed a knee into Nancy's back while pulling a cord around her neck, causing strangulation.
Oh,
and eventually
gosh. Oh, and that's not quick.
No, it's not. Especially for someone like Nancy, who was known to be a fighter.
Right.
There's no way she went easy. She never didn't not fight. If I could throw a big double negative.
There's a big old double negative. It's double negative night, 2 for 1.
It's double negative Tuesday. I mean Monday.
Well, yeah, because it's clearly Monday.
Whatever.
This is not
It's
Monday.
Not Monday.
This is not Tuesday, right?
There you go.
It's something. I don't know. It's whatever it is.
I feel like you're showing off.
Yeah, like come on here, a little whippersnapper, and tell us what day of the week it is.
Tell us how to use a double negative.
Don't tell me how to look at a calendar.
Oh no!
Sorry. Continue. We're so sorry.
That's okay. Daniel Benoit was second to perish in this double murder.
Oh no.
Reports indicate that Daniel was suffocated and killed in his very own bedroom.
No.
Much like Nancy, a Bible was left next to his body, but no pages were marked or indicated. These Bibles were just set next to the body. So again, it kind of left investigators a little clueless as to why that was part of what they were calling a ceremony or a ritual with the bodies. Daniel had internal injuries to the throat area, showing no bruises. But toxicology returned the presence of Xanax, which led the coroner to believe that Daniel was sedated and subsequently went unconscious way before he was being murdered.
Oh, gosh. Well, that's a blessing, I guess.
They say that Daniel most likely felt nothing and quintessentially died in his sleep.
Yeah.
Chris Benoit, however, was not to go unscathed. He was the last person to die by his own hands.
Oh, coward.
Initial reports from District Attorney Ballard and the city sheriff indicated that Chris Benoit committed suicide by hanging.
Oh.
Now, the initial report was that Benoit used a weight machine cord to hang himself by creating a noose at the end of a pull-down machine. So like a lap machine.
Oh, my God.
And he took that and made a noose out of it. And when Benoit released the weights from the lap pull-down, it strangled him.
Oh, my God.
That's a horrible way to go.
However, this is not accurate.
Oh.
because in 2016, Nancy's sister, again, Ms. Sandra Tuffolani, went on the Talk is Jericho podcast to clarify the cause of Chris's death. One, Chris had actually searched out on Google the quickest and easiest way to break a neck. It was in his search history. His research led him to use a towel around his own neck that he attached to the handle of that machine.
Okay.
So what he did, instead of a slow hanging, he actually tied the towel around his neck and tied that towel to the end of a pulley machine.
Oh, so it would just snap it.
Yes. He maxed the weight out, lifted it all the way up and let it go.
Yeah.
Pulled his head up and snapped his neck and killed him instantly.
Oh gosh. Well, I'm sorry that it killed him instantly.
Yeah. As am I.
Sorry, but I kind of wish he had suffered a little bit. But
this grisly murder was, again, only found out because Chris was supposed to appear for some tapings for some upcoming pay-per-views. And there's actually what's called a go-home show, which is the show that's for cable television right before a big pay-per-view event.
Okay.
And whenever he texted friends like Eddie Guerrero and his brother Chavez, the messages were cryptic at best, saying, oh, Nancy and Daniel are sick, and I don't know if I'm going to be on time. But everybody knew that Benoit would never show up late, even if his family was sick. He'd always say, hey, this is for the business. This is how I make money. That's how I'm going to be there. And once Eddie Guerrero, the late, great Eddie Guerrero, El Pape, whenever he brought this to the attention of Vince McMahon got worried, gave it to his executive management, and they all sent out texts to local law enforcement and made phone calls. And that's when they arrived on the scene on June 25th of 2007 to find what's been known as the worst murder-suicide in pro wrestling history.
Oh, that's so tragic. And so did they die the same day that they found the bodies, or had the bodies been there for a day or so?
The bodies had been there for a day or so. So the way it worked out was Nancy perished on June 22nd.
Okay.
And then Daniel actually didn't perish until June 23rd.
Okay.
So his mother was perished in the house, and he was just trying to go about his normal day. And that's when Chris Benoit decided that he would go further and take his son. Now, there are all kinds of ideas about why he did this. The idea that CTE, steroid use, the overabundance of HGH, the grueling schedule for pro wrestling. Regardless of all those excuses, what we have is needless loss and a murder, suicide that has wiped out two lovely lives. And also completely destroyed and marred what would have been one of the most storied pro wrestling careers of the generation.
That's I mean, that's his last act, and that's what people are going to remember.
Yes,
which is really unfortunate. And he made a lot of bad decisions. We'll never know what really drove him to those decisions. And I'm sorry for both of them, and RIP, because they didn't deserve it. Thank you for telling us that. That's not a story I would have ever really known, because I don't know that I would ever look up wrestling murders. So we're going to, in front of you, we're going to rudely taste this blueberry. It's healthy yogurt, oat, blueberry breakfast cake. I mean, it's got a lot of words.
It's a lot. It's a
lot of words, but it's supposed to be healthy. So I'm scared of it.
I am a little. I was waiting for you. It's very packed full of blueberries.
The berries.
It's the British blueberry.
It looks good.
Oh, it's very good.
Oh, not bad. I could eat that for breakfast.
Toasted with some butter on it.
Yeah. Like everything in my life. Just toast that shit up, put some butter on it. So anyway, if anybody wants the recipe, y'all can email me and I will share the recipe with you. Like I said, it's supposed to be healthy. There's no sugar in it at all.
No.
It's got a little bit of honey.
The flavor is delicious.
And I used Farmer Katie's honey.
Yay, Farmer Katie. Matt, tell us, how can we let our listeners know where to find your podcast?
I can tell you exactly where to find my podcast.
Thank you. I'm so glad you know. We don't have to give you hints.
if you want to know what's going on with the boys down the Joja Tour, we are at Decaying WTB on all social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget about our email, decayingwtb@gmail.com. I also want to plug Adam right now because he has a promotion right now for Make Peace Not War. So if you actually go to @bash_brew, you can actually check out that we brewed up a cream ale that you can donate $10. You get a 22-ounce bomber bottle, and all the money you give us goes directly to support in the Ukraine. Now,
wonderful.
Thing about it is we can't ship beer outside of Pennsylvania because that's illegal.
Yeah.
But if you want to give to a good cause, just know that if you do make a donation to us, that we are giving all that money to the Ukraine. It's going to two places, the Red Cross, and there's an animal shelter out there called, I think it's the Ulagok. And they take care of everything from kitty cats to horses and everything in between.
Oh, bless them.
Nice.
Okay. And so you'll send me that link and I'll put that in our show notes too.
Sure. I'd love to. Yeah. And
so people give.
But that's where you can find us. And hopefully you guys check us out and stop by, say hello. And
it's a lot of fun. When I listen to your podcast, I feel like I'm hanging out with my brothers. Not that I have multiple ones, but in this life that I'm pretending to have right now, I have multiple brothers.
Wait a minute. Yeah. I only know about the one.
Well, we have two legally. We have a stepbrother.
Yes, we do.
I don't think I've ever seen them in the room at the same time together, so they may be the same person. But if I were to have multiple brothers in this life that I'm thinking about, I'm hanging out in my garage and I'm listening to you all talk about all this sports stuff and beer stuff. And I just want to be one of the guys.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel.
Yeah.
So I love your podcast. It's very chill. It's funny. The other night I watched you break your computer. That was funny. So yeah, I mean, it's just all high drama.
Yeah.
With the breaking of the computer.
Someone actually thought I did that as like a gag for the show. I was like, no, I actually legitimately broke my laptop. And
you're not Carrot Top.
No.
Do that stuff. We don't work with props.
No, especially expensive props like this. Jesus.
Exactly. That's a very expensive prop. All right. Well, this has been truly such a special treat.
Should we talk about our social media?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
Hey, Karen, let everyone out there know where they can find your podcast.
Okay. Thanks for asking, Matt.
Feel free to email us anytime. We love emails.
We do. We love
Send
them.
us one and be kind with your words to murder.sugarcoated@gmail.com.
Remember, we're fragile.
We're fragile.
As a matter of fact, let me just tell this quick story. Annie and I went to a coffee shop on.
That's me. She
Annie.
Sometimes calls me Annie.
We went on Saturday to a coffee shop. We both had on our T-shirts, not the same exact shirt, but podcast shirts because we've got several. And the barista said, "Let me guess, y'all have a podcast." It was a little bit obvious. And there was a guy that was behind us waiting in line to get his coffee and stuff. And we just all started chatting about the podcast and whatever. And by the time we got home from the coffee shop, that guy that had been in line had emailed us
a murder to talk about.
How about
That's
that?
awesome.
Isn't that wonderful? I think it's like a murder in his family. Ooh.
I think not blood related, but maybe he referred to her as an aunt.
Yeah. We love email. We love getting murders and emails. We like getting recipes.
We don't like murderers in our email.
No, I don't like a murderer in my email, but I don't mind getting a murder in my email.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. But if you're the murderer, don't send me the murder.
Okay.
I don't want to know it.
So you can also find us on Facebook.
Yes. We got
Sugar Coated
two
Murder
Facebooks.
Podcast or Sugar Coated Murder Podcast
fan page. That's where all the fun happens. And we have Instagram at Sugar Coated Murder, and that's a fun place to follow us. And then we twit.
We are Twitters.
We're Twitters. We're tweeters.
We're a couple of twits.
We are a couple of twits, and we are not ashamed of it. And that tag or handle or username, I don't know. I don't know my ID. I don't know. It's called Sugar Murder because that day I couldn't spell all the words. So I stopped at Sugar Murder. And that's how you find us on social media.
All right.
So Matt, there's one thing I want to tell you right before we leave.
Okay.
Stay sweet and don't murder.
Because if you kill people, we will talk about you.
It's the damn truth, buddy. Thank you so much for coming on and for giving us murder. I mean, we love it. We love to be given murder.
Yeah.
I can't say it enough. Thank you so much for having me on. It is an absolute pleasure to share any kind of space with you two. So thank you.
Well, the pleasure is all ours. You're just so sweet. You're just so damn sweet.
All right. Well, everybody have a good week.
Yeah, y'all have a good week, and love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Believe. You can show support to your host by subscribing to the show and giving us a 5-star rating on your preferred platform. Check us out at Believe.com and search for BLEAV on YouTube.
You know when you're listening to a true crime story that has an unbelievable plot twist that makes you stop in your tracks? That's what our podcast, People Are the Worst, brings you with each episode. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Rebecca. We're identical twins who love true crime cases that make you say, didn't see that coming, and we hate the people responsible for them. Listen to People Are the Worst now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.